Nate the Great and the Monster Mass. Chapter 1: Dracula, Frankenstein, and Werewolf. My name is Nate the Great. I am a detective. My dog Sludge is a detective too. Today, Sludge and I had a big plan to do nothing. Suddenly, I had something. There was a note under the door of my room. It was written in scribble. I knew it was from my mother. She scribbled when she is in a hurry. I read it. I love those monsters, I said to Sludge. Strawberry Draculas, chocolate Frankenstein, cinnamon werewolf. My mother hates the werewolf, but she bakes them for me anyway. I must find that recipe. I, Nate the Great, had never solved cakes for my mother. My mother knew where everything was. Until now, we will look inside, I said. Perhaps my mother did not look anywhere in the house. I, Nate the Great, liked this case. I could stay home. I would not have to see Rosamond or her four cats. I would not have to see any stuffed fang. I could make as many pancakes as I want. Chapter 2: The Long and Short of It. Sludge and I went to the kitchen. My mother kept her recipe there. Each short recipe was written on one side of a card. Each long recipe was written on one side of a long piece of paper. The cards were in one pile, the paper was in another. My mother liked the cards, but they were all neat and clean. She did not like the paper. They were crinkled, wrinkled, and stained with food. The pile of paper was a mess, and it was huge. But I, Nate the Great, had to look for monster cookies. The recipe should be easy to find, I said to Sludge. It's the only one with a drawing of werewolves, dozens and dozens of werewolves, all crossed out. My mother was never seen a werewolf, she lies. I spread every sheet on the floor. I found a recipe for food I had never eaten and would never want to eat, like squash slush. I found a great name like chocolate bomb and pecan puffs. I found scribbled names that I had never heard of, like lamb. There was nothing written another than one, and the thing fizzled. Nothing was written another that either. There were more pages with a scribbled name. Maybe the recipe would be added later. I, Nate the Great, could not find the monster cookies. Chapter 3: One Big Mess. It was time to think. I made some pancakes. I gave Sludge a bone. We ate and thought. I knew that my mother had not made monster cookies for a week. Today she discovered that the recipe was gone. So the recipe might have been missing for a week, and less than a week. I turned to Sludge. We will look in every nook and cranny of this house. Look, card is for my mother. Sludge and I sniff, climb up, bend down, knock things over, pushing things around. We crumble the stuff, we jumble stuff, nothing. I need to agree. Say there is a big clue missing in this case. The clue is my mother. We have to find her and ask her the question. Sludge and I walked toward the front door. Ouch! We stumbled over the mess. We had a map. We will clean this up when we get back. Chapter 4. Tasty in a Lemon. We went outside. Think about where my mother would go, I said. Sludge sat down. No, don't sit and think. Walk and think. I need to agree. Suddenly I knew why the sludge had sat down. Fang was up ahead with Annie. I went up to Annie. I am looking for my mother, I said. Ordered her recipe for the monster cookies. Have you seen either one? I saw your mother 3 days ago, Annie said. She said hello, then she looked at Fang. She kept staring at him. Then she took a long piece of paper out of the pocketbook and wrote something down. She said that Fang would be tasty in a lemon. What did that mean? You would not want to know, I said. Chapter 5. The Best Follow. Sludge and I walked on. Maybe my mother is adding this Fang to her list of tasty monsters, I said. I can hardly wait to eat him, but that does not help us find my mother. Sludge turned around. Where are you going? I asked. Sludge led the way to Oliver's house. Oliver lived next door. Oliver is a pet. Oliver follows people. Oliver follows animals. Oliver follows the world. Oliver was in this yard. Oliver, I said, did you follow my mother today? Your mother went out today? Oliver said, Oh boy, I missed her. Your mother is a great follow. She goes to good place, like the fish store. Oliver collects eel. He likes anything to fish. Oliver, I said, did you follow my mother this week? Yes, just 3 days ago. It was my favorite follow of the month. Where did she go? Oliver took proud. He opened a box. He took out a card. I know who I follow, and then I followed them. And where did they go? He said. I have a card for everybody. Let's see. Nate the Great's mother, Thursday, 2 p.m. She spoke to Annie. She looked at Fang. She took a long piece of paper out of her pocketbook. She scribbled something on it. It was probably her grocery list. She went to the supermarket next. She looked at the paper. Then she took a jar of cinnamon from a shelf. She stared at the jar. She put it back. She bought chocolate, strawberry, and a lemon. A lemon? I said. Was she really going to make lemon Fang cookies? What happened next? I asked. She went to the fish store, Oliver said. She took some more long paper from her pocketbook, looked at them, and bought lots of fish. Aha! I said. More long paper. They could not be grocery lists. They must have been the recipe at the fish store for fish dish. At the supermarket for monster cookie. What did she do next? I don't know, Oliver said. I had to go home and feed my eels. I must go to the fish store, I said. I must follow you, Oliver said. I knew it, I said. Chapter 6. Something Fishy. Sludge and I walked to the fish store. Oliver followed us. Rosamond and her 4 cats were there. Rosamond was buying tuna. Here, she said to the man behind the counter. Is some paper to rub my tuna in. You're the rub my fish in it 2 months ago, but the other side hasn't been used. Just turn the paper over and use the other side. The paper was stained, rumbled and crumbled, and smelly. The man had made a base, but he rubbed the tuna in the paper. I recycle everything, Rosamond said, but fish paper is the best. I need the Great was discussed to her that. I went up to Rosamond. I did not want to do that. Have you seen my mother or her recipe for monster cookies? I asked. Rosamond looked mad. I saw your mother a few minutes ago. She asked me if I had seen the recipe. Now that you are asking my question, you always ask me the questions. From now on, I will charge you for my answer. Rosamond was strange. Now I need the Great had to be even stranger. Well, from now on, I need the Great will charge you for my question, I said. Rosamond shivered. Okay, no charge, she said. The answer is that I have not seen your mother's recipe, and I don't know the word she went after I saw her. For that you wanted money? I said. Rosamond hugged her the tuna package. Well, when I answer your question, I have to think hard. I have to breathe hard. My toes tinkle. My cats are hungry. It was time for leave. Sludge, Oliver, and I ran out. Oliver looked out a card and scribbled something on it. It was just the way that my mother scribbled her the short recipe on her card. Sludge sniffed the card. Was he thinking that I was thinking? Chapter 7. Crossed out a werewolf. Sludge and I rushed home. We have solved the case, I said. I opened the front door. We tripped. Well, the clean-up soon, I said, but first we have to use our clues. We know that my mother had the recipe that when she went to the supermarket 3 days ago. She almost bought cinnamons there, but she did not. My mother really hates cinnamons werewolf, so she must have decided not to bake them anymore. And that meant she didn't need all those crossed out werewolf. I need to say that without them, the monster cookies recipe was short enough to write on a card. So when my mother got home, she copied the recipe from the piece of paper onto the card. She threw out the paper, then she forgot that the recipe is now on a card. I went to the pile of cards. I tumbled through them fast. I knew that I was dying. Monster cookies, Sludge wagged his tail. He knew it too. I looked once. I looked twice. I looked 3 times. Sludge stopped wagging. The recipe is not on a card, I said. I should have known that my monster cookies knows what she is looking for. A long piece of paper. I opened a cupboard. There was plenty of cinnamons. My werewolf was safe, but we have to keep looking for my mother, I said. Chapter 8. The Right Place. Sludge and I rushed to the door. Thump, bump, thump. We fell down. We will clean up this place soon, I said. Sludge was tired of hearing that. He sat there. It's hard work being a detective, I said. I have to think about what I am looking for and who I am working for. I am working for my mother. I knew that she does not lose things. She put things in the right place. The right place for the recipe was with the other paper. She must have put it there 3 days ago. So why wasn't it there? Sludge didn't know. Neither did I, Nate the Great. What was important in this case? Was it important that my mother had scribbled something on a long piece of paper after the salt fang? Was it important that she bought chocolate, strawberry, lemon, and lots of fish? Fish could not have anything to do with monster cookies. Still, there was a clue. At the fish store, I, Nate the Great, felt it in my bones and of my nose. It had been something to do with Rosamond fish paper. Chapter 9. A scribble among the scribble. Get up, I said to Sludge. We have the clue we need, fish paper and a lemon. Sludge and I made our way back to the kitchen. I looked at the paper spread over the floor. I found a sheet that had a name and scribble on it. The paper was stanky, wrinkled, and crinkly. Just like Rosamond fish paper, because it had already been used. On the other side, to make cookies, I turned the paper over. I need to read what I knew I would read. Monster cookies. There it was how to make a strawberry Dracula, chocolate Frankenstein, and a cinnamon werewolf. This case is solved, I said. Here is what happened. My mother had some recipe with her. When she saw the Annie and Fang, she scribbled a note to buy the lemon on the back of the monster cookies recipe. Lemon Fang, short for the lemon Fang cookies. After the chopped and came home, she put the recipe back on the pile, but used it because she had scribbled on the back of the monster cookie recipe, it was turned down instead of up. The next couple of days, my mother used other recipe from the pile. The pile became very messy. Today, my mother was ready to make the chocolate. We made the cookies. She went to the piles. She was in a hurry. She stomped through the lots of recipe and scribble. Like Lamfan, I scribbled among the scribble. My mother passed it by just the way I did, and if the paper had been blank, we would have known. It was the wrong side. I made the agreed to say that in this case, nothing would have been better than something. I heard the front door open. I clutched the monster cookies recipe. I had a big surprise to show my mother. I heard a scream. I was glad that I did not hear it. I thought a bump or a thump. Sludge looked scared. I need to read. No knew that I had one more surprise for my mother that I want. Sludge and I were very busy for the rest of the day. The end.